Raining cats and dog. Note how singular. The Nocturnal Detective Agency receives a request to investigate an unusual drowning. Was it a suicide or murder? Will Master Detective Halara be able to solve this odd and onerous case? I hope it's not an animal that drowned. I hope we'll find out. Alright. Alright, Halara. Oh, of course you're at Chief Yako's desk. Of course
Halara, do you know where the milk I put in the fridge went?
No.
I was saving it for my coffee.
Sucks.
Beats me.
That's my seat, you know.
And you're not sitting in it.
How much?
Huh?
How much do you want for it? I'll pay your asking price. Well?
Halara, you just can't throw money like that.
You gotta be kidding. Fine. Just keep sitting there.
I will.
Ooh.
Someone's coming. I wasn't expecting guests today.
Yeah, who's coming in? Oh, hello. Hi. Can I help you, ma'am?
Right this way. It's a bit cramped in here.
Are you the chief of the Nocturnal Detective Agency? My name is Tetra. Pleased to meet you.
Not me, him, but regardless. Hi.
I'm the chief. That's just one of our detectives.
Oh, excuse me. Your detective was sitting at the biggest desk here, so I assumed...
No, don't even worry about it.
My seat gets stolen the moment I leave it open.
It's okay. You're fine. It's just a chair.
Let's sit down.
I was told you investigate murders.
Okay.
A murder case. It's possible for us to handle it, but what we can or can't do depends on whether or not the peacekeepers have already gone through it.
I see.
Have they?
My father passed away in a rather bizarre manner. The peacekeepers declared it was an accidental death.
Because of course they would.
But I just can't believe it was an accident.
The peacekeepers usually try to declare any unnatural deaths as accidents. Why do you suspect that it wasn't one?
My father kept tropical fish as a hobby. One morning, he was found dead, drowned with his head stuck in the fish tank.
That's definitely not an accident.
Do you really think that could be an accident?
Not at all, unless like for some magical reason, like it was a like foolproof like water tank and like he just tripped on a wire and fell in and wasn't able to get himself out.
He drowned with his head stuck in a fish tank? Can you describe the situation?
We don't mean to traumatize you, it's just that we can get a full picture.
The fish tank is set rather low, so you can view it from above.
So that would be very impossible to drown unless you were forced down on it.
My father was in a kneeling position, with his head dunked into the water.
That sure is bizarre. What did the peacekeepers have to say?
They say he was electrocuted, and passed out when he touched the temperature control switch with wet hands. And he fell into the water and drowned, unfortunately.
Are you sure the cause of death was drowning?
Yes, that appears to be the case without a doubt. A trustworthy doctor did the autopsy.
I see. From what you've said, you can't really deny that it could have been an accident.
Yako, are we seriously gonna try and make this girl think she's crazy?
No, the problem is the room where my father passed away. It was obvious that someone else had rummaged around.
What do you mean?
Well, the room has lots of tropical fish tanks lined up. But on the day my father died, all of them were shattered to pieces.
Shattered?
And of course there was water and dead fish all over the floor.
That's highly unusual. Were they not looking for something to grab?
Someone must have forced their way into the room to do something so terrible. I believe my father was murdered by whoever did that. This must be a murder. Please uncover the truth of my father's death.
What do you think, Halara?
Beats me. I wasn't paying attention.
Halara, seriously.
Don't lie. There's no way you couldn't hear us.
You can assume I don't exist, unless pay is involved.
I can pay. My father left me an inheritance.
Oh, don't mind my detective. Our rates are always reasonable here.
Then you'll investigate this case on my behalf?
Huh?
Yako.
Yes, of course. As detectives sworn to protect this town, we can't leave any mysteries unsolved.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy I worked up the courage to come here.
The Nocturnal Detective Agency is here to protect the peace of Kanai Ward. You can always count on us. As for investigating this case, we'll check out the crime scene soon. Promise.
Okay.
Jeez.
That was rather reckless of you to promise.
It's not like I have a choice. I can't just abandon people in need.
I mean, you tried multiple times throughout the story. I'm surprised you actually did take the case.
I'm Yaku Furio, chief of the Nocturnal Detective Agency. I gotta protect this town.
Dude, the way you speak in such confidence, and then I have to remind you and press the rewind button all the memories on how you constantly wanted to just hide under the water in the submarine astounds me.
Do you even have a single lead to solve this case?
What? Of course. I'm a detective after all. If I proceed with the investigation, I'm sure I can find some kind of clue. But I'll need your help, Halara.
That depends on the payment.
Really, Halara?
You know I don't have a lot of money.
And you know that I don't work for cheap.
Then, how about a deal instead?
What deal?
If you solve this case, I'll let you keep a cat here.
You... Ooh, come on, Halara. Come on, I know you may be allergic to cats, but we'll get a hairless cat. Come on, a Sphinx? There are actually, like, allergen-friendly cats out there. Come on, Halara, come on, just say yes.
Really?
Yes, really. Hey, where are you going?
To the crime scene.
Halara's like, fuck it, I'm gone, let's go.
Hold on, the client just left. Why don't you wait until tomorrow?
You want that cat now. You want to get that cat now. You want to get that cat in the submarine now.
Fine. I shall review the case's records until then.
Halara's fee is cheaper than I thought.
A cat is not cheap. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? A cat is not cheap by any means of the word. Raining cats and dog. Okay. Has, you know, he probably has his own investigating knowing about all of the detectives, so shrug. Maybe biased to the cat thing. She loves, like, Halara, they love cats. So it makes sense. Cheaper than 500,000 yen, or Shien. Yeah, one of the two, yeah. Alright, so what we got?
Thank you for coming. You really are willing to investigate the case.
Yes, we... What? Well, you thought we were gonna lie?
Well, that's our duty at the Nocturnal Detective Agency. Your house is pretty big. Your father must have been well off.
Yes. My father owned a medical devices company.
Okay.
He contributed to Kanai Ward's medical advancements for years. I simply can't believe he met his end like this.
I love how they just chalked the outlines of his legs.
We'll find justice for him.
Thank you. I am in your debt.
You know, Dolores, but the other cat, Fifi.
This is my fiancé, Jaren. We've been living together for about a year now.
Hello, Jaren. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'd like to ask you more about the details later, but can we take a look at the scene for now? Oh, before that, do you have a photo of your father?
Of course. Here's a picture from when he was still alive.
Thank you. Halara, over here.
Okay.
I'll leave the investigation to you. It's a bit too cramped for all of us to be wandering about.
Now, what are you gonna do then?
I'll keep speaking to them outside. Talk to me when you're done.
You know what? Fair. Okay.
Understood. Now, time to review the cards I've been dealt.
Investigation time. Let's go.
You definitely want to remember this.
Alright, so I can enlarge the images. Include you find the info regarding the clues. Great. Okay. Shyla with a $5, a small kick in for the kitty cat fund. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Kitty cats very much deserve nice and good treats. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some. So there's the door. Okay.
What is this? There's a stain here that looks like a horizontal line.
Is that a water damage line?
Upon close inspection, there appears to be a faint outline of the same stain along all 4 walls.
Yeah, it's a water damage line. Okay. Yeah, that's a water damage line.
An ordinary vent. There's some blue paint on the inner side of the frame.
Huh.
Looks like something rubbed against it. This may have something to do with the case.
A blue stain on a blue paint is on the inside of the frame. Huh. Okay.
It's a regular sliding window with a crescent lock. There are no suspicious marks on it.
Yeah.
There's a small veranda outside. We're on the 2nd floor, so any rain that falls off the eaves flows to the drain.
Yeah. Is it a sealed tight sliding door? As in, like, if you sealed the room, it could literally flood? Potentially. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
There's some stains on the floor. It is likely due to the water spilled from the fish tanks. Other than that, nothing else seems suspicious. Okay. Fish keep equipped.
I see.
The equipment and food for the tropical fish are placed together. Seems like nothing has been used since the incident. There's some dust. Okay. Could have been.
The fish tanks have been shattered.
But what kind of shattering are we thinking? It could be punched through, kicked through, a weapon could have been used.
There's broken glass scattered on the inside, which means it's certain someone smashed it inward. Why would someone do this?
Is this a sealed tight door?
There is a sticky substance stuck to the door frame. Perhaps tape residue?
Did someone try to seal themselves in and try and flood the area? I've investigated things of note, but... Is there no way to use my powers? Probably about to use my powers just yet.
That's about all I can investigate for now.
Pressure shatter? Maybe.
I should go talk to our clients before I observe the crime scene at the time the body was discovered.
Is the door openable?
The crime scene has been inspected, Chief.
Thanks.
There are a few things I'd like to confirm.
Yes, please ask me anything.
Can you give me the details of when you discovered the body?
It was, I think, around 6 in the morning.
Okay.
My father usually woke up early for breakfast, but when I went to get him, he wasn't in his room.
Okay.
So I looked around and noticed Sugar barking at this room.
You have a dog named Sugar. How cute. Emma with the $5 just came in to update. I have to watch my health because of heart problems, infections. I feel that I have elevated heart rate, so I understand the need to take care of your heart. Make sure you get some rest and make sure you get plenty of chill vibes. Okay? Thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it.
Sugar?
Dog.
That's the name of our dog.
Hello, little pupper.
Hey!
Hello, little pupper. Come here. Let me smush your head, oh you cutie.
Sugar sure is happy. She's rarely friendly with anyone.
She barks at me all the time.
There.
Shall we continue?
Oh, sorry. Sugar was barking in front of the room, so I opened the door to take a look. There I saw my father. His head was in the fish tank. He was already gone.
I heard her scream and ran over. But what I saw took my breath away. The fish tanks were all destroyed. The floor was covered with water. All the tropical fish Father loved were scattered across the floor, dead.
Were they valuable?
I'm not sure. I don't know how much they were worth, but the fact is, my father cared for them a great deal.
If the fish were expensive, do you think someone tried to steal them?
If that was the case, they wouldn't try and smash the glasses. They would literally pick them off one by one to preserve them.
Are you implying my father's murder was an afterthought?
I think the implication is that because of his love for fish, they use it for the advantage to kill your father.
Well, I'm just considering possibilities.
If they were going to steal the fish, I doubt they'd smash the tanks.
Exactly, I agree there.
You're right.
Do you know the estimated time of death for the victim?
I believe it was around 10 o'clock the night before.
Oh, so it happened the previous night.
When was the last time you saw him alive?
Right around 7 that night. I ate dinner with him. He went to his room after that.
Okay.
Does anyone else live here?
It's just me and him now. The servant left after making dinner before 7.
Okay.
Tell me, what were you doing around 10 that night?
After finishing dinner with my father, I did some cleaning and washed the dishes.
Okay.
Jaren came to the dining hall around 8 for dinner.
Okay.
And then we watched TV in the living room until around midnight.
So time of death was 10. But Jaren was with you until 8, so it can't be the two of you. Then what happened? So let me get this straight. So if Jaren was with you at 8 o'clock and the time of death was 10, unless he somehow planted and planned this entire thing, then Jaren couldn't have been the murderer. But it could be. Maybe, and this is just an afterthought, this is literally me, like, stretching and trying to reach an ending. Because we saw that the door had a lot of tape residue. It could be that... How would one set up such a case and be with his wife at 8 with her murder happening at 10? Regardless, the door was sealed in order to allow the water to rise to that level. We all saw that the water rose to that level. Assuming that all of the fish tanks were smashed and the water was at that level. This one has a lot of missing details.
Yes. I know for certain we were together between 8 and midnight.
Did you ever get up during that time? Such as to go to the bathroom?
I don't think so.
Were there any screams or sounds of a struggle around 10 at night?
No, not at all.
I see. That leaves me wondering who entered that room, when they did, and why they smashed all the fish tanks.
It's a locked room case. I'm thinking that the water collectively was from all of the tanks. So the room filled with all of the water from the fish tanks. It's a matter of how they set it up to not only like have the door sealed, but also for them to escape and for the murder to happen 2 hours after. So...
The fish tanks are large and have thick glass. You'd think you'd hear them being smashed.
True. All I know for certain is that we didn't hear anything like that.
You didn't hear any smashing of glass?
Do you often come in and out of this room?
Not at all. Only my father used this room.
What did the peacekeepers have to say when they saw the state of things in the room?
They said my father was stressed out. that he lost control and smashed all the tanks himself.
Of course they would say that.
Was he actually stressed out?
Truth be told, my father was lamenting over a prized tropical fish he had accidentally killed that morning.
Maybe the couple did it so they could get the father to his inheritance. Then why go to the detectives to try and figure out what's going on? That would be like they would literally lose the inheritance on their own if they were found out that they had committed murder.
I thought he could have done something extreme, given how much he regretted his mistake.
He did look rather depressed.
Still, my mild-mannered father would never do something like this.
Did you notice anything strange about your father during dinner?
He was sad about the fish, but he ate normally. I didn't notice anything in particular.
It's hard to think he was so distraught that he'd smash all the tanks on his own.
Also, you had dinner twice, my dear?
You're right. But that's what the peacekeepers told us happened.
I'll take another look around. For now, I'd like to ask you to leave the room.
I actually agree that it's the fiancé, but it's a matter of how do you set up a murder in this room? Because I'm trying to imagine it. How do you set up a murder in this room? And not only that, but you have to tape the front door and keep the water in, so you seal the front door shut. You see that sliding door shut on the second floor. This is the second floor, mind you, where there is a drain on the outside of the door. And you smash all of the tanks without being hurt.
So you're gonna do that thing, yeah? I'm counting on you. Let's wait outside.
There's just a lot of information I need.
The trump card is still face down. Time to use my postcognition to see how things were at the time the body was first discovered.
Right. Hello. First things first. Oh. Okay, so this is when she opened the door. Okay. Even post-cognition, the sticky traces of substance are on the frame. Was some kind of tape stuck on? Okay. So, we got some tape confirmation. Okay, but none on the door.
The victim's body is kneeling against the edge of a fish tank, with his head inside.
And his head would be underneath the water line.
Like the other tanks, this one is smashed up too. Looking closely, he is soaking wet.
Yeah, the entire room was flooded with water.
It'd make sense if it was just his upper body. But for his whole body to be soaked is unusual.
Yeah, if you notice where the head is to the water line, he was being drawn by the water line, not by the fish tank itself. Okay. Seems the stains on the walls were present when the body was found. I don't see any particular differences. No. The stains are darker when they are currently. Does that mean they were made around this time? Most likely.
The paint stuck on the frame can be seen here.
Okay. So there was still stains on the frame. Okay. Hello.
It's not locked. Anyone could come and go through here.
So the fiance, we're gonna assume this fiance, came in through the door, came into the glass door.
Perhaps this is how the culprit entered the place.
Entered and exited.
There's a dead tropical fish in the drain on the veranda. Why would that be there?
Because when they tried to leave, a fish actually got out. Okay, so during the flooding, they actually opened the door and one of the fish slid out. Okay.
There are dead tropical fish everywhere. The whole floor is completely drenched.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I see.
At the time the body was found, many things were scattered around. Could this sort of mess be caused by just broken fish tank? No, this was a flood.
I see.
All the tanks seem to be smashed inward. That's not much different from the room of its present state. Yeah, see, I'd agree it was water pressure, except you couldn't be able to get things up here.
That's all the...
Hold on, I'm not done. Also, the lamp got trampled over, but okay. So they were smashed in order to let the water like flood the entire room, left this way, and somehow got to the first floor from the second floor via jumping, I guess.
Are you done?
Yep. Hey, hi, honey. What's that?
The dog has something in her mouth.
Hey, Sugar!
What's this?
That's Sugar's favorite toy. It's just a rubber hose tied up in a knot.
A rubber hose with paint on it?
Ever since she was a puppy, Sugar has loved playing tug of war with a rubber hose. So I still make toys out of hoses like this. But I don't think I made one for her recently. Where did she get it from?
Wow, that's interesting. Let me take a look.
Wait, don't touch it.
What's wrong?
Put that in a plastic bag without touching it directly. I believe it's evidence.
That's evidence?
Consider it a precaution.
Okay, a rubber hose tied into a knot. Would the rubber hose have something to do with that blue mark that's on that vent?
How's the investigation going? Are the peacekeepers right? Did my father pass away due to an accident? Or was it...
The answer is clear. This was no accident, but a murder.
Huh? Really?
What makes you think it's a murder?
My thinking.
I think it's the walls. Yeah, the walls, look at the stain on the walls. Yeah, the walls are wet.
No, it's not enough to disprove the theory that it was an accident. Reviewing it more carefully...
It must be a murder because of... Yeah, the window. The killer got in and out.
No, it's not.
What? Are we assuming that it has to be because the tanks were shattered?
The victim died with his head in the fish tank. Is that right?
Yes, that is certain.
As you can see, this fish tank was destroyed like all the others. That is far too strange. It means something logically impossible occurred.
Impossible? What do you mean?
A tank with no water in it can't drown someone.
I shouldn't have to explain it. If the victim drowned with his head in the tank, then it had to be filled with water. But as you can see, the fish tank is destroyed, meaning it is unable to contain water. Like with the other tanks, the water spilled out when it was smashed, emptying it. So how could the victim drown in a fish tank that held no water?
Oh, now that you mention it.
Yeah, that makes
The
sense.
peacekeepers claim the victim was disoriented and smashed the fish tanks himself. But if the victim was still alive when he smashed the fish tanks, it would have been impossible for him to have drowned.
Yeah.
In other words, the victim was drowned, then placed next to the fish tank to make it seem like an accident. The culprit must have believed this camouflage would be enough to fool the peacekeepers.
So my father was murdered.
Yes, there is no mistake about it. This is murder.
Yep.
Hold on. If the culprit wanted to make the victim look like he drowned, why did they destroy the fish tank?
That's my question. Why did they destroy the fish?
Didn't they realize their cover would be blown? And plus, all the fish tanks were destroyed. Not just that one.
It must have been part of their plan for the peacekeepers to overlook this contradiction. However, destroying the tanks required a lot of effort. If the culprit did so despite the contradiction it created, then we have to assume there was an unavoidable reason behind it.
An unavoidable reason.
So, who is the culprit?
I must investigate further to find that out. I'll report back once I find the answer.
Yes, please.
Has anyone outside your family entered or left the house recently?
I don't think so.
Were there any tradesmen who came to work on your place?
I can't think of any.
Okay.
Allow me to change the question. Have you recently done any remodeling or repairs to the home?
Oh, now that you mention it.
Oh?
The rain gutters on the roof were broken, so Jaren fixed them.
So Jaren found a way in and out.
He fixed the rain gutters?
Yes, he's an avid DIYer. He not only fixed the broken parts, but also checked the gutters around the whole building, which was a lot of work.
Really?
I see. That concludes my investigation.
What? Are you sure that's enough?
They have it out in Kanai Ward, right?
Jeez, you're always off in your own world. I'm sorry about that. Our ace detective isn't very friendly. That being said, I believe this case will be solved soon. Please be patient for just a bit longer.
You be a good boy, Sugar.
Thank you.
All right. So are we straight up gonna be like, Jaren, it's you, you asshole! It is you!
Halara, just as you suspected, it could be the fiancé. Jaren has been living in the client's home and mooching off her since he got fired from his job a year back. He's in quite a lot of debt, too. At one point, he was spending almost all his time in casinos.
Stupid.
He kept asking the client's father for money, but was always denied. Seems the father was also against their marriage.
I mean, seemed like a no-good leech.
So money is the motive. If the father were to die, the daughter would inherit everything. So if he married her, the money would be his.
Makes sense. The thing is, that man has an alibi. The victim's estimated time of death is 10 at night. There's no mistake that Jaren was with the client at that time. It makes no sense to suspect Tetra, since she's our client. So we have to assume his alibi is airtight.
Right. I agree.
Unless the coroner themselves is on Jared's side.
His alibi is perfect. Not only was he with Tetra at 10, but he was also with her for 2 hours before and after. So, as it stands, it's impossible for him to have killed the victim.
Unless he paid off the coroner.
No, the alibi isn't a problem. It's possible if a certain trick was used.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
A trick?
But I still lack hard evidence. Perhaps it's worth rolling the dice here.
Hey, are you sure about this?
We'll make our move tonight. Let's go to the client.
Oh. So, what's the plan here, Halara? I'm curious to know what's going on in that brain of yours. Depends on the mood. The worse the mood, the sweeter the taste. The better the mood, the lighter the taste. Huh. That is cool to know.
Is it true that you know the truth behind this case?
That's right, miss. Allow me to explain. The key detail for this case is the victim's cause of death. Without a doubt, the victim died by drowning. But making it look like he drowned in the fish tank was camouflage.
Yeah.
Why would such a thing even be needed? Because it secured the killer's alibi.
You said that the victim's time of death was around 10 p.m. In other words, the culprit secured their alibi at the same time as they murdered the victim. Is that really possible?
Through a certain trick, it was possible to drown the victim even if the culprit wasn't there.
Drown him without being there?
Depending.
The trick the culprit used was...
Are you insinuating that they tried to, like, use the vent to, like, suck out the oxygen in the room?
Hmm,
I fucked up. Yep, I fucked up.
a method that can't
Yeah, no, I fucked up. I was saying that the hose was correct. Oh.
First,
Oh.
it involves this rubber hose.
Oh, I see. You could use the rubber hose on the gutters. You could use the hose in the gutters and flood the room.
That's Sugar's toy.
If you untie the knot, it returns to being a hose. This was what was first used in the crime.
How was it used? Don't tell me that's the murder weapon.
No, they stuck it through the vent. Basically, they flooded the room with sewage and water from the rain.
If you check the vent, you'll see the color of paint scraped on there matches the hose. It was likely passed through the vent.
Someone put the hose in the vent. Why would anyone do that?
It's nothing special. The hose was simply used for its original purpose.
Its original purpose?
One end of the hose was placed on the edge of the rain gutter on the veranda side. Prior to this, the culprit adjusted the rain gutter so that the hose could be inserted into it. The rainwater from the gutter passed through the hose, filling the room.
Huh? What do you mean? Halara, you think this place got flooded with rainwater?
Look at the walls, Yako.
That would drench the whole place.
Look at the walls, Yako.
When the body was found, the room was, in fact, drenched.
But that was because of the broken fish tanks, right?
No.
That's part of it. But the main reason was due to rainwater pouring into the enclosed room.
Wait, what do you mean? What's the point in flooding this room with rainwater?
The culprit's goal was to secure their own alibi at the estimated time of death. This trick was necessary for that.
Can water absorb sound? If the tanks were smashed in the flooded room, they could have, like, the water from the flood could have absorbed all of the smashing of the glasses.
I don't get it. Can you explain from the beginning?
Let's go over what the culprit did on the day of the crime in order.
Sure.
First, the culprit mixed sleeping pills into the victim's dinner.
Okay. Somehow, but okay, let's go. Let's go with that hypothetical. We have no proof of that, but sure.
While the victim was asleep, the culprit proceeded to prepare the trick.
Sleeping pills in his food? That reminds me. My father did seem sleepy shortly after eating dinner.
After dinner, the victim likely went to his room to lay down. The culprit then sneaked into his room and carried him out while he was asleep. That was how the victim was transported to this room.
At this point, you're sure he was still alive?
Of course. If the culprit murdered the victim earlier, then their alibi wouldn't have worked. The culprit had to murder him in such a way that would secure their alibi.
So basically, while the guy, oh my god, he drowned in his sleep. The old man drowned in his sleep. Basically, he put the sleeping body over a tank, and because his body was underwater, he drowned asleep.
The preparations were done in this room. After bringing the victim here, the culprit used duct tape on the gap near the door to weather strip it.
I wonder who the culprit is.
Weather strip? What's that?
It prevents water from leaking outside.
What do you mean?
Let me explain. After weather stripping the door, the culprit started destroying the fish tanks. The culprit likely covered them with cloth to dampen the noise.
You know, that also works.
Once he smashed all of them, he leaned the victim onto the fish tank. The culprit then moved to the window on the veranda and weather stripped the outside of it. Finally, they took the hose connected to the rain gutter and passed it through the vent to the inside of the room. Preparations in place, the culprit left through the veranda and returned to the mansion as if nothing had happened.
How does that complete everything? The victim was still alive at the time, right? When was he murdered?
The
Right on
victim
time.
naturally drowned after being left alone for several hours.
Huh? How's that?
He couldn't wake up from sleeping pills.
The rainwater from the rubber hose flooded the room in a few hours. The whole room was turned into a fish tank, this time filled with rainwater. And that is how the victim drowned.
The whole room was flooded?
Yako, look at the walls!
That can't be.
The proof lies in the stained walls. The day of the murder, the room must have been filled to that line with rainwater.
Rainwater killed the victim?
Correct. Only in this city could such an approach be possible.
Yeah.
The rain never stops in Kanai Ward. This makes it easy to estimate the amount of rainfall to a certain degree. So it is not impossible to create this alibi trick with some calculation.
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
No, it's just easy. Lots of water. It's endless water.
Wouldn't it take at least half a day for the room to fill with enough rainwater to drown the victim?
Nadi was already in a kneeling position.
I'm sure it would require more rainwater than usual to accomplish it. Which means you'd need to gather all the rain falling around this giant mansion.
Gather all of it? How?
By fixing the gutters to make it so that the room where you need it to be flooded is the lowest point.
It would require slight adjustments to the rain gutters. After that, the rainwater would flow to the veranda.
Adjustments to the rain gutters?
Mm-hmm.
There would be plenty of water if all of the rain that pours upon the mansion is rerouted to this room. That explains how the culprit secured their alibi while drowning the victim. In the morning, before the body was found, they removed the weather stripping and drained the water through the veranda. If you check the drain in the veranda, you should find dead tropical fish that were carried out with the rainwater. The culprit smashed the tanks beforehand to prevent rainwater from being stored inside. Well, that's how I would have done it. But maybe the culprit didn't realize that before they started draining the water. Seeing the fish tanks filled with rainwater, the culprit panicked and smashed all of the glass to hide the evidence. They must have carelessly broken the one fish tank the corpse was leaning on in the process. Isn't that how it went, Jaren?
Yeah.
I'll be direct. You are the culprit.
Gotcha.
Hold on. Is this some kind of joke?
No.
Why would I kill my father-in-law? That's stupid.
But you were fixing the rain gutters a few days before the incident.
That's because you asked me to fix them. How does fixing some stuff pin me as the culprit? That's crazy talk.
So you intend on maintaining that you're not the culprit?
Of course!
Then we'll have to ask our little friend for the answer.
Sugar!
Come here, Sugar.
Come here, good boy. Come here, good girl. Sorry, it's a girl.
This is the rubber hose used for the trick. There are scrapes on its surface. That's the proof. I'm sure the culprit tried to dispose of it, tying it into a knot before throwing it away. But our friend here found it for us. Good girl, Sugar.
Good girl with the good girl.
Only the culprit has directly touched the rubber hose. I'm certain his scent is still on it. Tell us, Sugar, who do you smell on this?
So, it is you.
Gotcha.
This is complete nonsense. I won't accept it. If I have to, I'll kill all of you.
How?
Hey, don't tell me that you're really...
I was so close to getting all that money.
Calm down! Hey! Why me?
You are literally the closest one there.
I can kill the woman anytime. I'll start off with you.
Are you gonna flick a shin at him?
Damn you, detectives. This is your fault for sticking your nose into my life.
Can you handle this on your own, Chief?
I'm pretty bad at this sort of thing. Please help.
Shut up! I'll kill... Ow!
Gotcha. I was waiting for him. I was waiting for them to throw a shin at him. stupid.
You saved me.
Yeah.
I never thought it would be like this. What am I supposed to do?
Find a better husband, vet the husband, use Sugar as the vet, and make sure that he ain't going after your money, honey bun. Or, you know, try women. Good girl, Sugar.
That's what she's saying.
If you ever
Sugar
need help,
typically helps.
come to us. The Nocturnal Detective Agency will always be at your service.
Thank you.
Oh, good girl. With the good girl. Sugar's a hero. All right, are we gonna get a cat in the submarine now? Oh, it's a cute little pumpkin! Oh,
As promised, you can keep that cat here.
oh, what a cute little baby!
I don't need your help. That's what the cat is saying.
Come on, this cat thinks it's some sort of hard-boiled detective?
Totally.
Well, I suppose I don't mind.
This city is a difficult place to live, even for the animals.
Yep.
Right. I hope we can keep solving the mysteries here to make this city a better place. And make it a nicer place for them to live too.
Noble.
I sincerely hope so.
You're so cold to humans, but you like animals.
Are you teasing me?
See, there you go again, making that scary face. Seeing you play with the cat, you look kinda cute. It sure would be nice to see more of that smile around here. I hope you keep using your powers to change the city. I know you can do it. For their sake, too.
That depends on the payment.
You're not gonna expect a cat to pay you.
Come on. Well, how's this? Consider it the reward for this case.
Can we not feed the cat in the rain where the milk will literally get sogged with salt water from the rain?
And maybe you could ask for permission next time.
Thanks.
Oh, what a baby. What a baby. What a cutie little baby. Oh, that was too good. Jacko might have been flirting a little bit, but I think he might have just been genuine. Like, smiles are nice. There's nothing romantic about saying a smile is nice. But raining cats and dog. Love that. That was a good one. I like that. That's fun. Very, very good. Very, very nice case. And I definitely love being able to use Halara's powers for real, straight up. And again, Sean being Sean was first the victim, now he's the murderer.